2, 1.
We'd like to welcome you to another edition of Grok Talk, brought to you by New Hampshire's leading conservative blog site, GraniteGrok.com. We are your feared, extremist, right-wing, hard-charging, gun-toting, opinionated, outspoken, rabble-rousing, letter-writing, radio microphone stomping conservatives and rational libertarians. So get ready for more news and opinion you could only get from GraniteGrok.com.
Grok Talk.
Oh, bring us in, Mr. Steve.
Hey, welcome to Grok Talk. We are live from Hillsborough, New Hampshire, and we're going to be here to share the CNHT annual taxpayer picnic with you, which doesn't start until noon, but we thought we'd come in, do a show, maybe take a little time off for lunch. Lunch doesn't really start until noon, so this will be interesting. But, and then continue with the picnic, and apparently we're going to get a direct audio feed this year, rumor has it. They've got a new PA system they're using, so we should have better audio quality than we've really had in a long time.
And it's right over there.
It's right over there. So, it won't be, you'll be able to hear better. Normally there's a lot of crowd noise, and we haven't really been able to capture the speakers. And most people don't really hear the speakers anyway.
Most people don't care about the speakers.
Yeah, that's not why they're here. That's not why they're here, but those speakers will be here. There will be campaigns here. There will be candidates probably making an appearance, so we definitely want to capture that if we can.
Yes, and in other words, as I always say, this is old home day for New Hampshire conservatives.
Right.
They're here to see their friends they only see once or twice or just a handful of times every year. Mm-hmm. The speakers, Well,
Rich Gerard is coming into MC, so that'll be good. We'll get to see Richard. Haven't seen him in a bit. Anyway, we are a political podcast, so we are going to talk about some politics.
Oh, and there's lots to talk about.
There is always plenty to talk about. I can't say that I'm up to speed on it. I've been really busy lately, so I haven't been doing as much newsy reading and stuff as I like. And we had a little discussion about one of the events that has transpired recently, and I'll see if I can scroll down here and find it. We did take last week off, sort of, thanks to the other Groxers for getting the Perry interview and posting that up. That was great. Go to GraniteGrok.com and check that out. Oh, yep, and Mike had tons of great Ben Carson footage. For those of you who didn't know, Rio Tilton won his special election against Elaine Andrews Ahern. Almost 67% of the vote in a seacoast town. I'd like to think that we helped with that endeavor. I know that a lot of individuals were involved, as they have been this year in special elections. The NHGOP has taken a great deal of interest in helping candidates along and activating the grassroots. Americans for Prosperity has been big on issue advocacy, small government, pro-free market candidates. And, of course, Rio Tilton was that candidate in this race. And the opponent, Elaine Andrews Ahern, was a previous House representative, so she has a record very, very bad on anything pro-business or small government, typical extreme left-wing, and intolerant of her own voters. And she's on the record as saying, I think people are so unbelievably unsophisticated, and she thinks it's a huge problem in New Hampshire. She thinks we're all morons, basically, because we didn't vote for her. And we must have proved her right, because they, in her district, didn't vote for her again.
Yeah, 2 to 1.
2 to 1, so 67% basically. He crushed her. I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody about where that came from. I think there was a unique circumstance. I believe that Rio's dad is a fire chief or something in town. Or he's in the fire department.
I'm not sure if in the fire department, but is a town official.
Right. So he, but I mean, I think there was a union connection there where he had a potential benefit to take union votes from the leftists, which, I don't know if that happened. I had heard that early on. I think Max Abramson shared that with us very early on when we were talking about Yvonne's race and the upcoming race for Rio. Either way, the Democrats have pretty much been swept all year in all special elections. Maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't, but what it does mean is that the Republicans are staying activated every day. They are taking a page or several pages from the left's playbook and keeping people activated on the ground and politically moving around and doing things and talking to people and keeping them excited. And it's showing so far. They've been very successful.
I wonder if it has to do with, at least in some small part, yes, we have a flying insect
That's
around
the
here.
grok fly. We brought this.
Oh, good hit.
Yeah, but he's still alive.
Yeah, well, as long as he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, he's going to keep coming back over here. I don't even have food. I have coffee. Maybe this fly likes coffee.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
I wonder if it has to do, in some small part, that the RNC's big technology push is actually making a difference. At least for and being a force multiplier, because that stuff can be very, very handy and helpful if it works, which it didn't in the last presidential cycle, and before that they didn't have anything pretty much except walk here and walk there. That's about it.
If they're using something, it's to the benefit for
Absolutely.
these candidates. You can't not do better when you've got a better ground game and when it's more organized and more targeted. When we go to faculty training, we talk about that 3% of voters that you need to get to the polls to win.
Correct.
In the end of the game. And you only need those 3%. So you have to find those 3%. You have to be able to figure out who they are, and then you have to go talk to them about what's important to your candidate. And if they agree with you, they'll go vote for them. And so instead of just, blanketing and carpet bombing with messaging, you can be very specific about how you go about getting out the vote. And if that's what they're doing, then we've been very successful so far this year.
Well, I kind of relay it to the idea of deepening your base. Now, there's this great big thing because we've got the national primary going on. And at the national level, we are seeing some grassroots Republicans adopting the proven and winning Democrat tactics. And, if it works, why not use it? Plagiarize it, as we say in code. They're deepening the base. They're going after people who may not be regular voters. Maybe once in a while, maybe only during presidentials or what have you. But I have the suspicion that's where they're going. As opposed to the establishment folks, which are still stuck in what they call the mushy middle. And certainly Jeb Bush is the one. I put up a post last night about that where he said, I don't care really about the conservatives. And, that works so well in November here in New Hampshire. When you diss a large part of your voting base, they tend to reward you with no votes. And I think Walt Havenstein and Scott Brown, both of which ticked off very important constituencies within the right side of the Republican Party, the Liberty and Freedom Party. Again, where Scott Brown tried to out-abortion Gene Shaheen.
Good luck with that.
And Walt Havenstein basically would not back down and apologize for calling a lot of the Tea Party type folks teabaggers. So when you outright diss your base and let it stand and then double down or triple down on it, that's not really a good portending. And I'm really, really hoping that he's going to eat his words of lose the primaries, win the general. I hope he loses the primary, and then he's just done for. Although he did raise a heck of a lot of money.
Yeah, he did.
But it's also surprising how much other people raised as well. Ted Cruz did very well in raising the money. Carly Fiorina, not so much.
No, she hasn't raised a lot of money, but she's making an impression.
Every time I see her on TV or, when, Mike going
Mike
out,
was just at an event
Yep.
where he recorded most of that. Well, he recorded the entire thing, but we streamed some of it.
Yeah, and she was on The View, if I remember right.
And managed herself very well there.
She knows how to talk. And that's something that a lot of Republican candidates, certainly in the past, haven't known how to do. And she has a ready answer for almost everything. And you have to admit, Donald Trump always has a way to do the political jujitsu. You may not agree with their stances. I don't care whether you're Republican, Democrat, but you have to admire that kind of political and verbal jujitsu to answer the question and then take it in a way that the questioner is not ready to respond to or is completely flummoxed over. And I think a lot of Republicans, in watching her, they may not be too sure about where she really stands. She's certainly talking a more conservative game than, say, George Pataki. By the way, George, how's that mano a mano with Donald Trump challenge working out for you. I don't think so. He who just made an infamous statement that it's illegal to carry guns across state lines. Yeah, this is a guy that we want to trust with the Second Amendment in the Constitution.
Yeah, well, he's not exactly your banner pro-constitutional liberty candidate.
No.
He really isn't.
But you notice we always seem to see, and every time there's an election, they're all saying they're all conservatives.